Before all of that, Gyles Brandreth and Alison Phillips are here to talk us through some of the top stories making the headlines today. And we're going to go in with the terrible story about Diogo Jota, who sadly passed away alongside his brother, Andre Silva, aged 25. Jota was 28. They were both killed in a car crash shortly after midnight on Thursday morning in northwestern Spain when their Lamborghini they were travelling in veered off the road and burst into flames. Police suspect it was a tyre blowout while overtaking. I mean, he was a... Oh, it's so sad. He was a father of 3. He's just got married literally 11 days ago. I mean, this is just unthinkable what's happened, isn't it?
It's so sad. And there's 3 little children, and I think his youngest child, the little girl, was only born last year. Like you say, 11 days since the wedding. And they just yesterday, the day before it happened, they were posting pictures from that ceremony. Yeah. And the only reason he was driving, he hadn't taken a plane back to start pre-season training with Liverpool because he'd had an operation on his lung and they told him it was safer to drive.
Is that the reason?
Yeah,
oh
it's so sad. And obviously, so he was driving to Santander, at which point he'd get the ferry over to this country and then back up to Liverpool.
It's heartbreaking, because he's so young, and also because he seems to have been such a charming and sort of rather modest person. And clearly, an amazing achiever, 65 goals in 182 appearances, 49 caps for Portugal. I mean, he is the real deal.
He was a great player. And Liverpool are an incredible club, a club that are just... have such a history of tragedy, and it always brings out the best in them. We've got 2 quotes from, Jurgen Klopp, his ex-manager, said Diogo was not only a fantastic player but a great friend, and the current manager, Arne Slot, just said, what can I say? What can anyone say at a time like this, with the shock and the pain so incredibly raw? I wish I had words. My message to them is very clear. You'll never walk alone. The players, the staff, the supporters, the Liverpool Football Club are all here with you. From what I've seen today, the same can be said from the wider family of football.
It was fascinating watching last night on the news. It clearly is a family, the Liverpool, the supporters there. I mean, I saw an elderly lady, my sort of age, in tears about this 28-year-old boy from Portugal, who clearly she felt was part of her life. Yeah. And she was saying, and the others saying, we've got to retire the number 20 now, because that was what he wore on his shirt. We don't want the number 20 more, so we can remember him. But I was moved by the fact that so many people...
Very special community
came together.
I mean, look at all the mourners here. It just shows how important these players actually are to people, how people carry them in their hearts.
And the international nature of it. Yes. That this is a Portuguese young man, and yet in Liverpool, they're totally taken to them as one of them. Yeah. So...
And a reminder to us all about how precious life is, and then just in a moment, it's all gone.
Yeah, so sad. Well, last night, Portugal and Spain players observed a period of silence before their Women's European Championship opening game. Of course, he was actually a big advocate for women's football as well. He used to, really, champion it in a way. Both sets of players also wore black armbands for the match as well.
Thoughts and prayers, everyone. OK. We move on. Yesterday, the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, claimed half of MPs in the House of Commons using weight loss jabs. I don't know the context of this, so it may well be that it was quite a light interview. I'm not entirely sure. But from reading it, it does feel like it was. It just feels a bit more gossipy than probably it reads.
I think it was a very light interview. And to be honest, I think Wes Streeting's great. What he's doing with the NHS is great. And if he can get GP appointments in a day, which is saying what's going to happen with the NHS app, he can say whatever he likes.
If he can achieve this, frankly, he walks on water.
But his point also is that there are a lot of people currently on weight loss jabs who can afford to pay £200 a month for them. And his point is that he wants them to be available to everybody who needs them via the NHS because of the benefits to the health service and also to wider society and to people themselves.
I want to see what he actually said. Weight loss jabs are the talk of the House of Commons tea rooms. Half my colleagues are on them and are judging the rest of us, saying you lot should be on them as well.
It's joking.
Do you know what? But you're saying that, it is kind of like the...
There is a societal...
There is that sort of element of people wanting to know. If someone loses weight, they're like, oh, definitely on the jabs. Definitely jabbing it.
But it's a serious issue. About 10 years ago, I was at a conference where a very senior doctor said it's no longer heart disease, it's no longer cancer that is going to be the big problem in the future. It's going to be obesity. That is what is going to be the big killer, and it's also could break the NHS. because it's so easy to acquire obesity.
Yeah.
You know, because you actually are doing it in part, not everybody, but in part you're doing it to yourself. And so there's a serious issue here for the government. They've really got to get on top of this. And is this a silver bullet? Now, people like me are a bit apprehensive about these weight jab injections now. I think it's going to be a pill soon, so you don't have to do the injections, because I don't know what the long-term effects are, and I'm worried about the idea of coming off it, because I could do with losing some weight, coming off it, then you put it straight back on again. So
I think that can happen, but I just think the benefits for people's health, if we can get on top of this, and the benefits of the whole country are just huge, and we should be definitely trying. And I think one of the reasons as well about why he made this comment is I think we've got to take some of the shame away from all this sort of stuff, so that, you know, if people need help to lose weight, then that's great. Have the help, get fitter, get healthier, feel happier.
Do you think people should out themselves and should admit to taking them?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's their private business? What do you think?
I think it is their private. I've stopped myself so many times seeing people who
you
are
on the
looking a bit
jab?
different, and I'm saying, and then I think, no, I got
Our business.
No, it isn't our business. I mean, I am really old school, because I was brought up by my parents when I was a little bit podgy as a teenager, who said, Gyles, eat less, move more. That is the four-word
mantra.
four-word diet. And the truth is, for most people, that does work, and it's free and it's available. And this is, if it's going to be on the NHS, and a lot of people are doing it privately, because they're doing it for reasons of they want to do it and also for vanity, and they can afford it. But if the NHS is going to have to fund this...
But what you just said about eat less, exercise more, isn't working. Because if it was working,
No, I agree.
we
Look at
wouldn't
me.
have
I agree.
the obesity crisis that we're in. So, you know... And
But
I
to
think...
your point, if you can't... If the NHS find a way of being able to afford this, then that surely will bring the obesity bill, which is huge,
Yes.
down.
Yeah.
This is
The
must
saving
be...
comes from there, so you have to
Wes
speculate to
Streeting
accumulate,
and the
right?
department must have done this calculation. And what he's saying here jokingly about the MPs, I'm sure he meant he hasn't done a survey, has he?
But also, you've got to remember, people who are on these jabs, it's still quite difficult. You still cannot lose weight if you're on the jabs. I mean, you've got to hydrate, you've got to exercise still, you've got to eat the right foods, you've still got to eat, because some people don't eat
That's
on
the worry
them.
for me, is that sort of, you know, anecdotally, the people I know that are on it, I worry that they're not
Eating enough.
getting enough
Of
Yes.
the right
they
things.
need.
Yes.
When they are eating, are they... I think you've got to do it with a regimen alongside. And then you've actually got to think about the future. There's talk of being able to do microdosing afterwards to keep you permanently on them. But I don't know.
Is the NHS going to be picking up other issues that the jab has caused in the future? Who knows what's going to happen?
Possibly, but I do think that this is going to save money and it's going to really help society generally.
Yeah.
And I think we need to take the shame out of the whole thing as well.
For sure.
Yeah, there's definitely no shame in it. New research has found that women over 50 are swapping midlife crisis for midlife glow. That's what I'm doing, anyway. Being someone who is 50, I know what a midlife glow is all about. Do you know what I mean?
What
You've
does
got to
it
have a
mean?
glow up.
Does it just
it
mean you're-
means instead of, like, having a crisis about getting to 50, you have a glow up
Yeah.
about it. You're glowing. You're...
As long as it does not include a tattoo, this is totally acceptable. What is the list of things that
No,
people
it
have?
does include
I
a
do
tattoo.
not think we need tattoos.
Why, Giles? I want a tattoo.
You don't.
I want a sleeve.
No.
You want
having it.
Giles?
I'm going to have a full-on sleeve, Giles. I want a sleeve
You
on
don't.
both arms.
Have you discovered how much
You know what
they
you should
cost?
do? You know what
I
you should
don't
do?
know.
You should go and get one with Giles.
Yes.
And Giles
Giles.
has to get what you get.
No, I won't
From
do
here
it.
to
I
here.
won't do it because in the future, I mean, you glow at... I can't believe you're 50, but you glow at 50. But a quarter of a century from now, it becomes a bit more puckered and shriveled.
Oh.
Have you ever seen yourself if you spent too long in the bath?
Yes.
25 years from now, that's what it's like permanently.
Giles,
But
would you
the
not get,
thing-
like, I don't know, a Kipling quote or something like that? on your shirt?
If, yes.
Yeah,
Treat those two imposters just the same. No.
You could have a tattoo of a jumper on your body.
That's not a bad idea.
So you never have to wear one
Oh,
again.
that's
You'd never
quite
have to
good.
wear a jumper again.
Oh, for naked...
Wearing that one again.
What about you, Al?
Well, tattoos. Well, so on this survey, they're saying all the things that people want to do is women want to do, over 50s, see the Northern Lights, travel on the Orient Express, go to Niagara Falls and get tattoos. So...
Well, the only one I haven't done is the tattoo.
Well,
well, there you go.
interestingly, the last one is writing novels, which is interesting.
Done it. I've been there. I am
That's
living
it.
my
That's
life.
it.
Doing it.
Have you been to the Niagara Falls?
I have. But I only went for 25 minutes because my
go over on
my
the
ride
barrel?
was like, we want to go now. I was like, I don't want to go yet. And they were like, we've got to go home.
Go on the barrel.
No, I didn't go on that. No, why would I do that? I'd kill
everyone does
myself.
No!
What does that mean?
I don't know. I thought that's like that's the
Houdini.
thing. You go, Houdini goes over in the barrel.
Yeah, absolutely. Or walks over something on a tightrope.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.